What if your blood carried not just oxygen and nutrients, but also tiny messengers whispering instructions directly to your brain, shaping how fast it ages, how well it remembers, or how resilient it feels after a stressful day? Welcome to the increasingly captivating world of molecular signals in the bloodstream that influence brain aging. Far from being separated by a cold biological wall, your brain and your blood are in constant biochemical conversation, exchanging subtle cues through a semi-permeable, mood swing-prone gatekeeper, the blood-brain barrier, BBB. Now, let's be clear. The blood-brain barrier is famously picky. It's the nightclub bouncer of human physiology. Only VIPs on the guest list, like glucose, amino acids, and select hormones, get in easily, while riffraff like pathogens and heavy metals are told to buzz off. But age, inflammation, and chronic stress start to wear this bouncer down. The result? Things that used to be barred from the brain now sneak in, or worse, are invited in by faulty regulation. One of the good guys, when everything's working properly, is BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. This molecule is like Miracle-Gro for your neurons, promoting growth, repair, and plasticity. While most BDNF is produced in the brain, circulating levels in the blood mirror what's happening upstairs. Exercise, intermittent fasting, and sleep all increase blood BDNF levels, and that rise appears to support better cognition and delay neurodegeneration. On the flip side, low BDNF in blood is associated with depression, Alzheimer's disease, and even poor learning. It's not just a feel-good molecule, it's a biological anti-aging strategy in molecular disguise. But there's a darker side to this bloodstream-to-brain communication, and its name is cytokines. These small immune molecules, such as IL-6, TNF-alpha, and interleukin-1 aren't inherently evil. They're crucial for fighting infection and healing injuries. But in chronic doses, especially when they're floating through your blood long-term, they become the biochemical equivalent of background static in your brain. They trigger microglial activation, increase oxidative stress, and degrade synaptic integrity. In aging individuals, higher levels of pro-inflammatory cytokines in the blood are tightly linked to poor memory, slower processing speed, and higher dementia risk. And here's the kicker. Even when the cytokines themselves don't fully cross the BBB, they can signal through receptors on the barrier or hijack transport systems, meaning the brain still hears their inflammatory message. Then there's the oddball cast of characters, gut-derived neurotoxins. Your gut bacteria churn out hundreds of metabolites, many beneficial, like short-chain fatty acids, and some less charming. Indoxyl sulfate, picresol, and trimethylamine N-oxide, TMAO, are examples of microbial byproducts that can build up in the blood, especially when the gut barrier is compromised or kidney clearance declines with age. These compounds, though tiny, have outsized effects, damaging neurons, disturbing mitochondrial function, and increasing neuroinflammation. When they leak across a weakened BBB, they contribute to what some researchers call neurointestinal aging, a kind of metabolic crosstalk between gut, blood, and brain that accelerates cognitive decline. And don't forget glucocorticoids, stress hormones like cortisol that freely enter the brain and bind to receptors involved in memory, sleep, and mood regulation. Chronic elevation of cortisol, often tracked via blood levels, is associated with hippocampal shrinkage and accelerated brain aging. Your blood, in essence, can carry the long-term signature of emotional stress to your neurons, leaving a trail of burnout behind. Even more exotic are extracellular vesicles, tiny membrane-bound bubbles that float in blood, carrying proteins, RNA, and microRNAs between tissues. These vesicles can cross into the brain and deliver messages from aging cells, inflamed organs, or even distant tumors. They're not just carriers, they're biochemical influencers, shaping how neurons express genes and respond to damage. Researchers are now exploring how youthful extracellular vesicles could one day deliver rejuvenating signals to the aging brain, no sci-fi telepathy required. So what does all this mean for brain health? It suggests that cognitive aging isn't just a product of what happens in the brain, it's profoundly shaped by what flows into it. If the blood carries inflammatory signals, the brain becomes more vulnerable to degeneration. If it carries neurotrophic factors, the brain may remain nimble and resilient. The quality of your blood, its molecular content, its microbial echoes, its metabolic chatter, may be one of the most overlooked indicators of how quickly your brain is aging. In the future, Managing brain health might look a lot like managing cardiovascular health, monitoring blood biomarkers, tweaking microbial inputs, and optimizing nutrient and hormone delivery across the blood-brain barrier. Your bloodstream isn't just a transport system, it's a broadcast medium, sending chemical stories into your brain every second. And what those stories say could be the difference between cognitive decline and staying sharp into your 100th year.